Live from WFSB, Connecticut's first choice for news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 5:30.
I just feel that, I've got to do one more thing. So that's why I'm doing this.
An Eyewitness News exclusive. A family breaks its silence for the first time regarding a cold case murder more than 3 decades old. Good evening, I'm Denise DePrest.
And I'm Terzi. This is about the death of a young mother, and the family members say they hope by talking to us about what happened, someone watching this story will come forward and help police finally make an arrest.
Channel 3 Hartford Bureau Chief Len Bestov has the story you'll see only on 3.
Sadly, not a lot has changed since Susan LaRosa's family first came to Vernon Police more than 30 years ago and reported her missing. The big difference now is that at least one of those relatives is telling their story for the first time on camera.
I just feel that, I've got to do one more thing. So that's why I'm doing this.
Terry Shanks was just a girl when her sister, 20-year-old Susan LaRosa, disappeared June 23, 1975. She and her husband Robert had 3 young children living on the 2nd floor of this home on Ward Street in Rockville.
She called my mom every single day. This particular day, my mom never got a phone call, so she got a little bit nervous.
Nervousness turned to fear for her daughter's life. Days passed without answers, which turned to weeks and even years. Then a crew working on the construction of I-84 in Vernon found something. We found video of the scene in our Channel 3 archives.
Almost 3 years later, it was May of 1978, they finally discovered, a body, and they did do the dental charts. They matched the dental charts and said, yes, it was my sister. We had the body. We were very fortunate. We got to, have a nice memorial mass for the family, but it still wasn't enough for us.
In spite of a $20,000 reward offered by then-Governor Ella Grasso, no solid leads were developed. Vernon detectives kept pressing to solve the LaRosa case, knowing little about why someone would want to hurt her.
It's still an open investigation.
Lieutenant John Kelly, now the head of the detective division, was just 3 years old at the time of the murder. He says an autopsy revealed LaRosa was killed by a blow to the head.
Her husband had reported her missing after an argument that they had.
Robert LaRosa has never been charged in the case or named a person of interest, nor has anyone else. The investigation slowed down until 2002, when Dr. Henry Lee was called in to the LaRosa's former apartment to look for evidence perhaps overlooked in the 1970s, when forensic technology was not as sophisticated.
There was some possible blood evidence seized in the floorboards, but it wasn't enough at the time to develop a DNA profile.
Still, with all the background work detectives have done, they believe they are just a few leads away from solving this case.
There's people out there that know what happened that night, and all it would take is for them to contact us, and with that information, I do believe we could work closer to closing this case.
If they have any ideas or thoughts or, information, to please share it, because my sister Sue was a human being.
Now, Vernon police say they can't emphasize enough that if you have any information on the Susan LaRosa murder, they want to hear from you. They say there is still a $20,000 reward in effect. Additionally, they say the only person that could get charged in this case because of the statute of limitations is the person who committed the murder. With the mobile newsroom in Vernon, Len Bestov, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
As people continue to talk about the death of Osama bin Laden, one segment of our population wants to make sure they are heard. Connecticut Muslims are gathering tonight in Hartford to address the killing of al-Qaeda's leader. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Hallie Jackson now live with the mobile newsroom in the capital city tonight. Hallie?
Al, this event here at the Hartford Hilton starts at about 6 o'clock. It had been planned as an interfaith symposium, planned long before the events of Sunday in Pakistan. But obviously, I'm here now with Naseem Nadi, who is the National Vice President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Group. And clearly the events of this weekend are going to be coming up in this symposium, would you say?
Yes, in this symposium, we are going to talk about Holy Scriptures. So my goal is, as a Muslim, that the audience should know that we believe in the New Testament, we believe in the Old Testament, we believe in all other scriptures. So we are, believers in the Christian Bible. And that is something which we want to highlight. What are the commonalities of religion in this interfaith symposium?
So you'll be discussing that. I imagine also the death of Osama bin Laden. Can you talk to me about some of the reaction from fellow Muslims in your community about the events of the weekend?
I would say that by his killing, the backbone of Al-Qaeda has been broken, and this is really a big blow to Al-Qaeda. But this is naive to say that everything is over. It's not over until it is over, because there are thousands of people who are in the queue to take the place of Osama bin Laden. Until and unless those breeding grounds are not tackled, where every day in the religious seminary people are being told that you should give your life and get out and kill Christians and Jews, and especially Americans, this problem is not going to be solved.
Thank you so much. Channel 3 will be here to cover the symposium. We're going to be here at 6 o'clock at the Hartford Hilton. I appreciate you being with us, and we're going to have a lot more coverage for you coming up tonight on Channel 3 News at 11. For now, we're live with the mobile newsroom in Hartford. I'm Hallie Jackson, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Well, the word is out. There will be enough electricity for customers in New England this summer. That's the word from the Northeast Power Coordinating Council. This is the power companies are expecting electricity use will rise as the economy continues to improve. They expect businesses, for example, to stay open later. They also expect that more homes will be built. All that means more electricity will be needed.
For the first time ever, Operation Fuel is reopening its energy assistance program. The program has about $150,000 available to help an estimated 750 homes right through the end of June. This past winter, Operation Fuel gave out nearly $1 million in energy assistance to more than 2,600 homes.
Now, coming up here, all new tonight at 5:30, families are spending more on gas, a lot more than they were at this time last year. We'll break down a few simple things you can do to make what's in your tank last longer.
Plus, will cameras be installed to capture red light runners, where a bill winding its way through the state capitol is now?
Coming up in the weather, what's making you sneeze? Plus, I'm tracking showers and storms to our west. I'll let you know when that unsettled weather is going to arrive here.
You know, Carrie, I've heard of the boyfriend jeans, but a boyfriend haircut?
It's short on the sides, long on the top, and totally sexy.
On the next better, the cute cut for spring.
Then, if you thought you couldn't get laser hair removal, think again.
New technology allows all skin tones to be hair-free.
Better Connecticut tomorrow at 3.
Well, let's check out the pain at the pump. How you feeling tonight? Gas prices continue to climb. They've reached the point now where they are seriously impacting the budget of almost every family in the state. Channel 3's Dennis House outside our station right now with more on that. Den?
Al, I know that you and Denise have been complaining about these gas pains for a while now, and it is tough right now. I spent $72 to fill up my car the other day, a 4-cylinder engine, so it's not that big. Just about a year ago, gas was about $3 a gallon. Now it's $1 more than that. And of course, here in Connecticut, we pay among the highest gas prices in the nation because gas is so heavily taxed here. So why is it going up? Well, all sorts of reasons. But we can tell you that government figures show that a person buys a little over 1,100 gallons of gasoline per year. When gas was around $3, well, that was more than $3,300 the average person would spend every year. Now, with the average in Connecticut at $4.25, that's a yearly cost of about $4,600. That's an extra $1,300 you have to come up with to fill your car this year. So what can you do? Well, the Better Business Bureau has a few ideas for you. First, go easy on the pedals. Seriously, speeding, braking, and rapid acceleration can certainly waste gas. Also, check your tire pressure, spark plugs, and alignment, because all of those things, if not up to snuff, can reduce your fuel efficiency. And fill your tank early in the morning or late at night. When it's cool outside, fuel is denser, so you actually get more gas for the same amount of money. For more tips like these, you can go to our website, WFSB.com, and click on money. Also, use common sense. If you find yourself in Rhode Island or Massachusetts, gas up there, because we're told the gas is cheaper there, and also gas tends to be a little bit cheaper in the Connecticut border towns near those states because they try to compete. Also, you can check out taking the bus, train, or walk to work if possible. I'm Dennis House, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Alan, Denise, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dennis. A proposal to install red light cameras has died in the Judiciary Committee. The bill would have called for cities to install cameras aimed at capturing license plate numbers when drivers run red lights. Violators would have been fined $124. The committee decided not to vote on the bill because of a lack of support for the plan.
The natural claim is one of the most vague and misleading green claims that we see out on the marketplace.
So how about you? Do you buy a particular food item because the label says all natural? Well, even though the label may say that, that doesn't mean it contains anything from nature.
Plus, bad news for Honda. An Acura call is being expanded.
And then all new tonight at 6, an I-Team investigation. A Granby police captain accused of possessing child pornography. We dug up his personnel files. Wait till you see what we found.
Now the closing numbers on Wall Street. It was a mixed day. The Dow was up fractionally, while the NASDAQ and the S&P closed down 22 and 5 respectively.
Start your day with Irene O'Connor. Mornings on Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. I'm here in the Channel 3 lunchroom to talk about food labels. And if you're like me, you spend an awful lot of time in the grocery store reading the fine print on all these labels. So sometimes it's tempting to think, well, maybe I can take a shortcut. Ooh, this looks good. All natural. All natural pink virgin lemonade. But as Channel 3's Manuel Gallegos found out, all natural may not be what you think.
The natural label is all over the supermarket, but checking the ingredients could make you think twice.
The second ingredient is corn syrup, partially hydrogenated cottonseed oil, sugar, salt. I'm not sure what this corn sugar is exactly.
Urvashi Rangan is a labeling expert. She says the term natural has little to do with nature.
The natural claim is one of the most vague and misleading green claims that we see out on the marketplace.
The Food and Drug Administration admits it's never defined the term natural. It doesn't object to the label as long as there's no artificial flavors or synthetic substances, which leaves plenty of room for some pretty unappetizing ingredients.
Citric acid, for example, can be made by bacteria, and that's considered to be a natural flavoring. Red dye can come from crushed beetles, and that can be a natural food coloring.
Frustrating for shoppers trying to decode what's healthy.
I want to know what's going into my body.
Nutrition expert Marion Nessel says the natural loophole shows the political power of the multi-billion-dollar food industry.
Corporations fund election campaigns, and until that changes, our federal agencies are going to be very concerned about corporate health as well as public health.
Natural may be a marketing magnet, but the truth is in the fine print.
Manuel Gallegos, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
We have a consumer alert for you tonight. Honda's expanding its airbag recall. They're going to check on another 800,000 vehicles. The company says all Honda and Acura models from the model years 2001 through 2003 should be inspected. Last year, they recalled 437,000 vehicles because what was happening is the airbags in some cases were deploying too forcefully, and that, of course, could injure somebody who comes into contact with an airbag. The company is going to send out notifications to drivers, but if you'd like to read more about this right now, head to our website, WFSB.com, click on the Money menu, and then recalls.
Now, Channel 3 Early Warning Weather. Powered by Early Warning Pinpoint Doppler. Tracking weather in your town and everywhere in Connecticut.
Kind of muggy out there today.
Muggy, but, you know, really summer-like.
Yes.
Especially across northern Connecticut where the temperature approached 80 degrees. That was a bit of a surprise today, but we'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
Really, really nice. Look at the temperature contrast we had across the state today. 79 is the high temperature of Bradley International Airport at Windsor Locks. That's because they're farther away from the cooler influence of Long Island Sound. But take a look at Groton coming in almost 20 degrees cooler. It's 60 for a high. So 79 at Windsor Locks, and you notice those temperatures cool down as you work southward across the state. 65 was the high in New Haven. It was 76 in Willimantic, and even the mid-70s in the northwestern hills in Connecticut. Also high today, not just the temperature in northern Connecticut, but the pollen. Look at this. Tree pollen, not just high, but very high. We can blame birch, poplar, cottonwood, and some other trees making us sneeze out there right now. In fact, today I washed my car. As soon as I got done washing my car, there was pollen on it once again. We also have a little bit of mold in the air. The mold levels are low. Looking at our live city cam in Waterbury, we have some dim sunshine up there. Kind of a nice evening out there with that cooling sea breeze. And speaking of a sea breeze, look into London. That wind is coming in from the east-southeast, and that's why shoreline temperatures were a lot closer to 60 today, because the waters of Long Island Sound are still in the 40s to near 50. That water is very, very cold. We had a nice day in terms of some sunshine and no rain to worry about. We still don't have any rain showing up on early morning pinpoint Doppler, but look off to our west. You go from Burlington, Vermont, back across much of New York and Pennsylvania. We have showers and thunderstorms, a big batch of thunderstorms right there in central Pennsylvania, and some of that activity is on the severe side. In fact, the Severe Storms Forecast Center has issued a severe thunderstorm watch for much of central and eastern portions of Pennsylvania. We don't have to worry about any severe weather around here tonight, but there may be a rumble of thunder later tonight on into the first part of tomorrow morning. Temperature contrast, that's what's fueling those thunderstorms right now. Philadelphia currently is 82. Meanwhile, Scranton is 78. But you go to the northwest, and Buffalo is 43 degrees. So there's a cold front in there, and tomorrow morning that's going to be moving right across Connecticut. So tomorrow's not going to be nearly as warm as it was today. We will have showers around from time to time, maybe a rumble of thunder early, and then during the afternoon the showers will tend to taper off. So plan on some wet weather for your morning commute. Early warning futurecast shows the showers and storm off to our west this evening. Again, later on tonight after midnight, that's when the showers will be moving into Connecticut, maybe a rumble of thunder as well. So there it is, 7 o'clock in the morning. As we head through the afternoon, still a chance for a shower, but they will tend to taper off. And then on Thursday, there will be some cold air aloft, so any sunshine will lead to partly to mostly cloudy skies, and we can't rule out a passing shower or two. But most of the day is going to be dry. However, it's also going to be breezy and on the cool side. Lows tonight will stay in the mild 50s, and your highs for tomorrow range from the mid-50s in the Northwest Hills to the lower 60s in many parts of the state. Look at Enfield, 61 compared to that high of around close to 80 today. Showers likely tomorrow, maybe some thunder, low 60s. Thursday, breezy and cool with maybe a couple of afternoon showers. And then Friday, partly sunny and pleasant, highs in the 60s, coming up at 6. I'll let you know what's in store for the upcoming Mother's Day weekend.
All right, thank you, Bruce. Honoring a longtime track coach in Colchester. That's one of the stories we have for you tonight as Channel 3 Eyewitness News goes everywhere, town by town. In Colchester, the track at Bacon Academy is being rededicated to honor Coach Jack Long. Long coached track and field as well as cross country from 1963 to 1996. Ceremonies being held next Tuesday, May 10th at 6 p.m., and Coach Long will be there for the honors. In Manchester, the State Bond Commission has approved $3 million for the reconstruction of Broad Street between Center Street and West Middle Turnpike. Work includes rebuilding the road and sidewalks and installing new lighting and landscaping. The town plans to begin work this summer. And in Middletown, an event to give diapers to babies in need. The United Way is currently accepting donations. They can be dropped off at the Middletown Elks Lodge on Maynard Street from now until June 19th. Eyewitness News is everywhere, town by town.
All new at 5:30, Connecticut's capital city has been named a tree city officially. The State Department of Environmental Protection honoring 19 communities, and Hartford is one of them, recognized for its effort to beautify local parks and its commitment of $5 million a year to the restoration and maintenance of the trees. And check this out, students around the country getting up to dance this afternoon. This is all to promote exercise and have fun in the process. This is the scene at Clark Lane Middle School in Waterford. Students there were selected as Connecticut's representative to First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Move program. It's nationwide. At exactly 1:42 Eastern Time, these students got up and danced with thousands of others in middle schools across the country, and they danced to Beyonce's song, Move Your Body.
And we've had so many involved with dancing and exercising, so we're hoping that it just gets kids really excited about exercising.
Let's Move is a nationwide program sponsored by the National Association of Broadcasters Education Foundation and other educational organizations.
Still ahead, all new tonight at 5:30.
My car has been broken into like twice.
A rise in crime in one community and fears it will get worse as the weather gets warmer. How the people who live there are banding together to combat crime.
And then all new tonight at 6. Could Osama bin Laden's death be marked as a holiday? The push in one city to make May 2nd a day of celebration. Where's that?
Tonight, American life after Osama bin Laden. What's being done to keep our nation safe from terror? Special coverage continues tonight on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.